after I talk for 40 minutes, I don't watch myself. Why would I do that? I'm here when I film this. Why would I go home and watch this later? I'd have to be a narcissist of a level even I am not. Alright, interwebs. You have to watch this, interwebs, because I'm not gonna. These are comical books. I'm Sebastian. This is a room. That's Big Sexy Dave. You can't see him. He's bouncing around. Oh yeah,
that's his foot.
That's my foot in a thing. Cause I broke my ankle and gonna geek. Head geek.
Requested it be on camera.
Maybe he's just the head gunner. I'm not sure. But the mighty Canadian John Drew has asked that he jokingly requested it be in every frame. And if we could have figured out the logistics for that within this space,
possibly,
we actually would have aimed it down, and I just would have leaned every comic on the boot. But it probably would have involved like an extra 7.5 seconds of work. And I don't know if you've met me and Big Sexy Dave, but that's like 8 seconds more than we were going to put in. So let's start with some comical books. All right, first up is the Amazing SpiderMan, being all amazing. And he literally, it's Dan Slott does these little moments sometimes where he becomes more my hero than Spider-Man is. And one of them is, you know that it's like half of this issue was written around the idea that he wanted to make the literal pun of... Alright, so Zodiac opens up this door that lets him now see a full year into the future instead of just the day that Gemini is able to see into. Unable to figure out any other way to beat him, Spidey knocks him through the door, so now they have a whole year before they have to deal with Zodiac. But you know that it's like this entire storyline was written because Dan Slott came up with the idea for this panel of Mockingbird saying, I'm assuming you took Scorpio out. Yep, really? Where is he? What'd you do with him? And Spidey's like, honest answer? I smacked him into next year. And that made me so happy. Also, it made me happy that despite the fact whatever's going on
what the hell?
in Mockingbird's own book, in this Mockingbird is kind of flirty with ye old Peter Parker, to the point where even Anna Marie notices it, and she's like, she likes you. And Spidey's like, really? She's like, shh, watch, bet we can make her jealous. And she kind of hangs on Spidey's arm, but it doesn't make her jealous. It actually just, or that we know of, but it does flip out the living brain robot that actually currently has Doc Ock's persona, and he's like, ah. So it's Parker luck on like such a metaphysical level that it makes me very, very happy. And despite the fact that I really want Peter to be married to Mary Jane, I think I could deal with a Spider-Man Mockingbird romance, especially if it eventually meant to team up with Spider-Woman and Hawkeye. Because it'd be like, oh, that's my buddy, and you're with Spider-Man, and oh, that's my ex-wife, and you're with Spider-Man, and Spider-Man being like, what? And I think it'd make me happy. This is my review. Thank you, Gildemon. Thank you. Elongated Man barbecuing for the remaining members of the Secret Six while they try and figure out, oh, I'm dying from these stupid students. Blah, 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 blah. So while they're trying to figure out what to do, so it's a cookout with Ralph and Sue while everybody tries to figure out what to do about how to get Strix back. Meanwhile, Lady Shiva, yes. Lady Shiva, she's all about Jewish mourning. She's just kind of sitting around waiting, and in a year we get a tombstone.
It hurts me that we both went to the same place on that.
She just kind of sits there. She's an assassin, but she will mourn you for a full year after she kills you. Explains why she's always in black. Well, no, she's actually in green. I'm just colorblind. Is it blue? I have no idea.
Let me see.
What color does she wear? Because it looks green here, but it looks blue there.
It's green. It's just a shading.
Colors.
They are your worst enemy, or at least amongst them.
Yeah, they're in the running. But Lady Shiva has such a bitch twisted. This is what I'm saying. Her like initiation and get you over the family that you thought you had technique is she dresses other assassins up in ways where you're not going to mistake them for, oh my god, you're actually so-and-so, but they clearly represent each member of the Secret Six, and then make Strix kill them with the threat of, if you don't kill them, whichever one you don't kill, we're killing the actual person. If you refuse to fight, or you lose to any of these people, then we just kill all of them, whether you like it or not. So Strix has some issues, but yeah, but it's good, it's fun, it's gorgeous artwork.
It's Gail Simone on Secret Six,
and yeah, it's Gail Simone Secret Six. That's all you need to know, really. But it's also, it's the kind of fun that you feel guilty about later for most of it. Standoff wraps itself up to an ending. It was good. We get a new Quasar, which is good. It's always good to have a Quasar. But they give me Wendell Vaughn and they don't make him Quasar, and it makes me sad. Sad am I. Sad. I mean, they give reasons within the comic, but sad am I. Also, we get an explanation for why I'm suddenly more intrigued than I was, which is to say I wasn't really intrigued at all, but I'm now more intrigued about potentially reading the new Thunderbolts, because this really sets that up, and there are repercussions for Maria Hill that will probably affect things longer down the road, and everybody continues to make, after all these issues of listening to people make age jokes to Captain America, now they're making reversed age jokes to Captain America. But there is a great reference. Tony Stark is like, I was de-aged once, and everybody's like, you told us never to talk about that. Yeah, Tony, you said never to mention it. And Tony's like, you're fine. You know what? And I believe that unless I'm missing something else, that is a reference to when Tony Stark went nuts, and then teenage Tony Stark had to come to now and kill him, and then teenage Tony Stark replaced Tony Stark and became the new Iron Man. So that made me laugh that they're, that they went there. Star Wars.
Number yawn.
Yeah, Star Wars number 18. There's a mystery that has me a little intrigued. There's some Han and Luke interplay. 3PO is very 3PO. Leia and the badass ladies of space continue to face down this guy that's taken over a space prison for the sole purpose of killing all the people in it one at a time. You know what was really good? All New Wolverine number 7. Wolverine and Squirrel Girl team up for a mission because Wolverine, she had caused a car accident during one of her fights, but the car that was crashed a tree, hit a tree. The tree that fell was the home to these squirrels. And now the father's missing. He led people away, and they're being chased. And they now have to go find the squirrel father. Squirrel Girl shows up with a Wolverine.
An actual Wolverine. That indeed she does.
Because she thinks that, as she puts it, Gabby loves the Wolverine. The clone of the clone loves the Wolverine and wants to keep it. Squirrel Girl informs her that the Wolverine has a name, but she's like, it's a matter of life and death. But I thought that what I had to say would come across better if you had an animal's perspective. And Wolverine's like, I can't talk to Wolverines. And she's like, of course you can. Of course you can talk to Wolverines. Anyone? No, actually, no. This is Gabby's response. Of course you can talk to Wolverines. Anyone can. Hello, understandably irritated animal. And she's like, I can't understand Wolverines. So there's that going on. The Wolverine's name is Jonathan. It's actually like, this is such a great story, and it's like more Wolverine feels that you would think a book about Wolverine, Wolverine's female clone, her clone, and Squirrel Girl could possibly give you. But it was really, really well done. This has been a really, really strong book. I highly recommend the all new Wolverine. Superman, Wonder Woman. You know they're saying they're counting down to rebirth, and we're counting down to
yawn
to the potential death of New 52 Superman. Well, I'm counting faster.
Can't count fast enough.
I'm not sure. No, it's it does leave me wondering if pre-New 52 Superman is going to end up on the Justice League. So what? The rest of the Justice League just goes,
one Superman just goes another.
Yeah, it's like we've been friends with this other guy for, say, about 5 years, 8 years. Fuck him. We just got this other guy who's almost him and remembers an almost us, and we're not going to question it. Okay. Kryptonians, they're all basically the same.
One Kryptonian, another
Old
Kryptonian.
Man Logan. Weird, creepy Logan feels. Not sure how far ahead that timeline from Old Man Logan is supposed to be set in, because apparently he just met the child version of the girl who would be his wife in that other setting. And he's okay with that. And, he's going to try and keep anything bad from happening to her. But his mere presence inspires Lady Deathstrike and the Reavers to show up, so...
Of course.
So shit ain't gonna end well. Justice League 49 is complicated, but it's really good. There's a lot of moving parts here. Mr. Miracle really wants to save the Earth. Barter really wants to save Apocalypse. Barter boom tubes back to Apocalypse. Miracle looks sad. It breaks my heart. Batman knows a lot, does little. The birth of Superwoman's baby.
Oh, finally.
There's some death, some loss, some side shifting. It's all...
There's a lot going on.
Justice League at this point is somewhere between Shakespeare and a soap opera. But it's good.
That's a weird place to be.
Justice League 3001 ends with the words, the end of the Justice League, and then in parentheses, that's not hyperbole, we've been canceled. Which, on the one hand, makes me sad, but on the other hand, if you're giving me geriatric Nort and geriatric Larfleeze after you brought back and then never really used Ted and Booster, then I'm okay with letting you go. Okay with it was Ted and Booster, and they were ready to be Ted and Booster as part of a league.
And then they were ripped away from you.
Could have even made them serious again, so that you could say, "See, this they have their fun, but they're serious." And then you just went, let's put them to the background. Mention that maybe they're dead, maybe they're alive. We don't even know, and then never even look into it. But I get Nort, Old Man Nort,
And Larfleeze.
and Old Man Larfleeze. Which isn't to say those are bad things. It's just to say that the other thing was better. Saga number 36. Can you believe it's 36 issues already? The cosplay in the back, by the way, is crazy gorgeous, and people did some interesting characters this time. There's some great stuff. They did those two reporters. They did, the new teacher. They did the little mole guy. And they did. Look at that one. Look how great that is. It makes me very happy. Oh yeah, wow. I forgot. These are like, is it third place? No. Oh, okay. This is third, second, and first. Oh my god. Third place. What? Alright. Is the mom. Second place. What? It's the author. But, and here's how you win by a landslide. Okay. First place. What the heck is that character's name? Yuma.
Yuma, yeah.
Alright. She dressed as Yuma, and she dressed her dog up as Goose. Goose. Goose is badass in this. Much to the Will's dismay. Will's hallucinations. No, they're hallucinations. Really nice moment between Marco and his mom. And some interesting news along the way as they get their... They get... Spoiler alert, they get their baby back. Spoiler alert. Looks like she's not necessarily, depending on how this carries out to term, she may no longer be the only baby. Batman! It's the second to last issue for the New 52, but it's the last issue for Snyder and Capullo. They did a lot of stuff. Everything is set up. This is like the perfect gift wrapping of, here's all the stories we did. We're going to put a bow on it. Anything you want, anyone who takes over after this, anything you want to play with in the sandbox, here's all the stories you can either pick up or leave behind. Here's all the things you can either go in the direction we were leaning towards, or it's all cleared for you to go in a separate direction. Everything is ready. Even the still non-re-Jokerified Joker smacking mosquitoes on his neck and saying, not tonight. Not tonight. So he's potentially there to be the Joker, and then he's Micronauts #1 that I got because of Cullen Bunn and David Baldeon, an artist that I love and a writer that I love, writing about characters that I don't know. It was solid in so much as, the artwork was gorgeous. The story, I don't think I read a lot of stuff. I buy even more stuff. I don't think I'm committing to this. I had a hard time getting into the Micronauts in the first place when they were in Marvel. I remember having Micronauts toys and being baffled by the fact that none of the Micronauts toys were really any of the characters. I had old Micronauts.
Yeah.
like old Micronauts, like from before I was born Micronauts. I was born in 72.
Ooh.
Well, no, they were probably from after I was born. No, maybe.
Yeah, I could have sworn Micronauts were in the 80s.
I had like an old set that was like, it had these things and these whatevers, and I... Whatevs.
Oh, boys.
This made me very happy. Despite the fact that Sunspot, they keep showing him like on covers doing stuff, but he never does, because they took my boy down with the mist of the Terrigen Mists. But somebody shows up at the end after they got away. The Avengers got away, but these Avengers got away, but they got their butts kind of trounced by S.H.I.E.L.D. But Bobby's talking to somebody off panel about, you know, and he starts coughing, and he's like, "Mpox got y'all bad, huh?" See the y'all? And then he's like, "You think? Take my advice, my friend. If you see a Terrigen cloud, be somewhere else." Well, I'll try, but I don't rightly know if that stuff will affect me. Don't know if I mentioned it. But I happen to be nigh invulnerable when I'm blasting, because it's the Return of Cannonball. I'm so happy. So happy. Also, Hawkeye feeling slightly betrayed by another Bobby. By Bobby Gold, aka Songbird, who was one of his Thunderbolts, but is now currently an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. And yeah, when Bobbies join S.H.I.E.L.D., they always end up fucking over poor Clint. Daredevil, the cover alone.
Awesome.
Even Elektra doesn't remember that Matt is Daredevil, because we don't know what Daredevil did yet, but he did something that made everyone forget, and he feels bad about it, especially because it makes him wonder things like, this means that when they still have all their memories, but this means for people like Elektra and Black Widow and everyone else that he was with, they remember being with Daredevil as a couple, but they at the same time that they were with Matt. So he's with one, whatever it is that he did, he made everybody that he's ever loved think they were cheating. And he mentions that. But Elektra's badass, and she seems to be okay with Matt, but she's got issues with Daredevil that turn out to be, spoiler in 3, 2, 1. She wants to know, what have you done with my daughter? Dun, dun, dun. Matt didn't even know she had. Ultimates number 6. Some higher concepts as Galactus takes on like chaos and order and eternity, because they want him to go back to what they feel he's supposed to be, but he likes being a life bringer and not the devourer of worlds. So gets a little Galactus getting existential.
What the shit?
Exactly. Ghostbusters International number 4 in Paris. The plot thickens. The art is great. The story is great.
It's Ghostbusters. It's right.
I love it. I love this Ghostbusters. I love. I don't know how to say his name. Dan Schoening. I love him. Love him. Stop trying to fall, comical books.
Yes. Just fall already.
We Are Robin. I don't think We Are Robin is continuing into the New 52, so I believe we have one issue left. But this one, the Robins kind of come on to their own. Also, we find the last name to one of the Robins, Dax. We finally find out what his last name is in a scene with his mother, who finds Dax is the mechanic one, the Mohawk, who he's designed some of those Batman grappling guns that they use and whatever, but his mother's like, Daxton, we had a deal. You know, when your father went away, I told you it's not a gun, Ma. Looks like a gun. He's like, it's not. I designed it for climbing. Why don't I believe you? We promised each other, Daxton. I know, and I'm going to keep that promise, Ma. I promise. No chill is gonna fire a gun ever again. He is the son of Joe Chill. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum.
Now I want that to continue.
Yeah, I'm so beyond into that. Sinestro, cool. Sinestro number 22. Sornik still leading. There's a little bit of a revolt. Sinestro is still playing the long game. The Red Lanterns are back, and I'm happy to see them, and yet disappointed that people like Bleeze have gone back to just, there was so much change, and I loved the red, the way they were in the Red Lanterns, and they just went back to, the anger villain archetype. Grayson, gotta tell you,
something.
It's not. I want to say that it confused me a little, but more it confused me in a way that a lot of times I'm going, really, and why? More than just being, they've got Max Lord as a checkmate guy, and that always makes me nervous because they're bringing back Ted. The Pitiful Human Lizard by Jason Liu is quite possibly the greatest comic that you are not reading. This book is great. This entire issue, I shit you not, is literally this. It says, with only $5 and a dying cell phone battery, our hero is alone in a city far from home. He fights a monster. The monster carries him from, I believe he gets carried and dropped off. He's like, where the heck am I? He is trying to get back to Toronto, and he eventually figures out that he's in, I don't remember where. He's in Mississauga. And for a guy who grew up in Massapequa, you think I'd be able to say Mississauga. But Mississauga, I don't know, one of those fine traditions where white folks came over on boats, killed native peoples, and then named the lands after them.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the whole story. Is him in costume trying to walk his ass home because he has to get to work in the morning, and the various misadventures he goes through. Reminds me of that one Keanu Reeves movie when he was a kid, where he
The Night Before.
Yeah. The Night Before, where he goes to the prom with Aunt Becky from Full House and loses her to a pimp named Tito. Anyway, Patsy Walker, a.k.a. Hellcat, versus Hetty. Legal battles. The greatest, intellectual battle of heroes versus villain ever is them versus... What's her name? I don't remember her name. She gets mad when you call her the Enchantress. Because she's not the Enchantress.
Amora?
No, because she's not the Enchantress. She's another magic-using Asgardian villainess who gets very upset that whenever anyone compares her to the Enchantress.
Is it the one that starts with an S?
I don't remember. But this book is so good. Interestingly enough, it's not really a spoiler because it says, plus, you won't believe who shows up on the last page. Psst, it's Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones shows up on the last page in basically her office from the show with a cup full of, a glass full of what I assume is scotch on the rocks. But all of that made me think, wait, she was the one who was always trying to get, and even in Power Man and Iron Fist, is still trying to get Luke to stop everything that he's doing because they're supposed to be home being responsible parents now. So I was like, what? But the show is popular, so she will revert to type. Mythic by Phil Hester and John McRae. So good. The craziest reach of a... they come up with the ultimate Hail Mary plan. Also, Venus has a job at a burger place called Big Chubby's, King of the Burgers. Although her response is, no, I don't work at Chubby's, motherfucker. I give them. She gives you Chubby's because she's Venus. This book is great. The idea is that all the myths are real, and they work to maintain a balance between the world of man and the world of myth. All right, two of these. These are my last two books. I'm going to review them together. There is last week's ActionVerse featuring Molly Danger, and this week's ActionVerse featuring Fracture. This guy here continues, the first hero continues to go hopping along from universe to universe. The bad guy involved is actually from the Fractureverse, and this guy meets Molly Danger, and is about as dumbfounded as he would be to find out that there's a nearly immortal, aging super slowly, if at all. So it's like a little bit, what's her name from the Vampire Lestat.
Oh, yeah, no, too long.
Christina Ricci played her in the movie, but yeah, the little kid with all that power. But it's like, she ages. She's like 40 years old, but she's well, in that she was like for whatever. So this girl's like 20 something, 30 something years old, but she still looks like she's 10, and she has the powers of like Superman. So it's an interesting life. And Virtue, of course, this is from the book that got me into Action Labs, is from Fracture. Fracture is the book about a guy who was literally his own worst enemy. He has multiple personalities. Each one accesses different powers and different themes, and there was a normal him that didn't know he had any powers, but he was also Virtue and Malice. He was two of his own worst enemies, and a handful of other characters. And now he's going around dealing out a harsher form of justice that he doesn't always remember dealing out. But it continues to do the storyline that crosses over all the Action Labs heroes. And that's all I got. And a can of draft jelly beans that taste like stale beer. And all right, interwebs, I miss you.
Thanks for watching another video from Gonna Geek. If you like geeky stuff, check out our podcast network, our news and articles, and our community forums. You can find it all at GonnaGeek.com, like us at Facebook.com/GonnaGeek, tweet us at GonnaGeek, subscribe to our YouTube channel at YouTube.com/GonnaGeek, and check out our live programming at GonnaGeek.com/live.